Well, it is Monday. It is April 6th. April 6th. That's not January 6th. January 6th is etched in my brain, but that's a different story of a different Trump. Anyway, but we're not talking politics today because I have a beautiful and wonderful lady with me. How many years have I known you, Sean?
29.
You've been here 29 years.
Yeah.
Rarely do I go out on the town, but 29 years ago, Ariel said to me, I was with Ariel 29 years ago. I'm so thankful.
I knew that.
Still with her. Isn't that amazing?
Yes. And wonderful.
I met Sean at a place called The Lounge. The Lounge. In Haiku, what do they call that? Haiku Community Center?
Well, it's the Haiku community, it's the Haiku town.
It's where the market is and Colleen's and all that stuff
Fukushima's,
now. Yeah, but this was long ago, and there was this place at the end but I guess it was less than 500 feet from houses. And they were impacted. They couldn't have music late at night because everyone was complaining, and that didn't last long. But this guy that I know is in 29 years ago. That was Nikhil Ananda. He was Nikhil Ananda then, too. He's the same guy that many of you probably know. He ran for politics all these years. But so did I for a little while. But there, we went to The Lounge. And it was, I don't even remember anything except there were two ladies in there. There was nobody there. It was like they really could have used some business. So we sat there and we talked. And you had just come to the island. And
I had just come to the island.
A smart, intelligent, beautiful woman on Maui that just walks in. I said, I'm with Ariel, but this is a good one. I'm going to be able to let my friends know this. Wouldn't you know, years later, one of the people who was my friend, not a close friend, but someone I knew and loved and respected, Shone Edel. Edel, you'll tell me.
He says Edel.
Edel?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Shone
Edel.
If you were here years ago, you knew about a cookie. You heard Shone. Is that Shone Destroy Him? He made those awesome cookies. Yeah. Well, Sean married Shone. Talk about having two incredible people together for a lot of years. And in the last couple of years, Shone passed away. And suddenly, it's almost like you were in his shadow in that he was such a big presence. And in Hana, you say realtor, Shone. You have a fruit guy, that's Shone. You want to do this, that's Shone. He's involved in politics. Yeah, he's involved.
He was.
Beautiful man, and his brother.
Charlie.
Yeah, everyone called him Charlie Butterfly, but Charlie Rosen was out there for years, living next to Chris Christopherson with his wife, all kinds of stories. He died before, but now the show.
And then Chris died after Shone died.
Yeah, they were neighbors.
Not long after. Yeah,
close, right?
We were close neighbors. Yeah.
See that? This is Sean. Now, if you don't know Shone Edel, do you say Edel? What do you say?
Yes, I do. I do. Edel. Yes.
See, you got to learn. We're Americans. We don't say stuff right. I mean, that's always interesting. Here are those Americans talking words like Francais.
Well, I'm Canadian, you know that.
Oh, you are?
I am.
Oh, A?
A.
So, Edel, that fit.
I never thought of it like that. Shone always thought of it as Edelweiss.
Oh, that's good.
No.
But when you just said Canada, I said,
A.
Okay, that's easy. That's a good one. So that's who this is. This is Shone Edel. Sean is, I don't want to identify, but I would say a homeopathic practitioner.
Right.
That's the legal way of saying I'm someone that knows a lot
about you.
About you. And I, through careful questions, because you probably observe and you ask those key questions that someone opens up and tells you the little stuff. Because homeopathy Do you out there know what homeopathy? I'm going to start for all of you that may or may not at first. Homeopathy means
It's a law of similars.
a law of similars.
Yeah, it's one of the definitions of it. It's
Give
the
me
law
more
of similars.
color there. What does that mean?
Well, so you try to match. You're looking to match the remedy to the symptoms. So if you have two children that are both sick and they have colds, one may be hot, lying in bed, throws the covers off, red face, and all sweaty. The other one could be in bed, shivering, all covered up. There's specific remedies that match the symptoms of each one of those symptoms, whereas Western medicine will just give you a broad thing that could take possibly care of everything, but maybe won't. So it's very specific. It takes the totality of symptoms of the person and matches the remedy to the symptoms.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
if you take the symptoms as a negative, and you take the remedy as a mirror, then you've got these two things coming together that'll cause a positive, which is cure.
balance.
Yeah.
Right? Balance.
Right. Yeah.
So that's really interesting. I guess, for example, how about someone that's this week, April 11, 75 years old? No.
Oh, you have the same birthday as one of my best girlfriends.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
That's good.
That is good.
That's good.
And Ariel's birthday is April 8th. My brother's birthday, too.
Wow.
Yeah. But anyway, I brought that up for some reason.
Something that just happened to you.
Something that just happened to me.
Right.
And I think, how am I going to solve this issue? We just had a mud. We had more water than we should. We had what they call a Kona low, and those of you on Maui know that we were inundated with water, and then it stopped for a couple of days, and then it came again, and it wreaked havoc to a lot of areas. And one of the things that happened is watts flowed from as high up as you get, 10,000 feet, down to sea level, and it took the route of least resistance. And that included a lot of houses, people,
Animals.
It's been a monster. People's lands have been decimated. And it's not just quick over. You know, with all that's going on federally with FEMA, and here we have MEMA and SHMEMA, and insurance companies, all these years that people fight to get the money that they need to repair. They've been paying all these years, but wait. You didn't sign that paper on the third day after the second day, and we didn't receive it. Because we didn't receive it. But anyway, stories like that, or even without all those stories, there's not enough help. So if any of you out there have excess, even if you don't think you have excess, take a look. That's called excess. You have enough to be able to give and help. And if you don't, why not? There's so much that you could do, and one is even to encourage people and try to be helpful, please. But we have another one coming this week. When I looked at the thing, it shows Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. What's happening now?
I hope it's not because I moved from Hana and I brought all the rain with me.
I hope it's not that also.
I don't think so. But
But that water
was amazing.
When I look at my skin, it's like, what is that? And someone said, "Oh, that's keratosis B. It's dry skin." Oh, that's so brilliant.
No, it's from the water.
So
the water is contaminated right now.
Give me more information that you know, can you?
Well, I know that they're going to. We will not be told that the water is contaminated.
From where? From way up?
From the county, let's say.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not. Yes, they have ways of looking at the water and determining what's in it, but that I don't think their testing factors in for dead animals and all the other things that got swept into that water.
Well, the guy that works with me on the website, Jim Carey, he was in the hospital for 5 days, intravenous, for every 4 hours, and now he's out and still. What was that? Because one was called Pseudomonas, and then another one, not the one that I heard in the news. So there are a lot of things in the water.
There's just a lot of bacteria.
So be very careful. I'm not sure exactly what to do. They kind of kind of scoff it off. Oh, it's nothing. That's not nothing. And I'm going to do my best when I get it. Getting an appointment with a skin doctor is like pulling teeth from a rhinoceros running at full speed in a snowstorm. They don't have rhinoceros snowstorms, so see, you can't
That's
even
a good
get 'em.
analogy.
Well, anyway,
So you just have to be careful with the water. I personally will not use it right now. I will not bathe in it because I don't trust it.
no.
And I just know that there's stuff in there that we don't want anything, you don't, and they talk about brown water. You don't even have to have brown water. You can there's still a lot of chemicals in the water right now.
Right.
If you can smell how much chlorine there is in it. So
Are you aware of that, all you guys out there? If not, the being aware is your first step.
just be careful.
And then if you use it, you're going to have to find a way of, what do you do if someone comes and, look, I have no choice. I have to use this water, Miss Homeopathy. What are you going to do for me? How are you going to help me? I have to use this stuff. What do I do?
You mean if they have to use the tap water?
So here, I'm come to you, my homeopathic practitioner, because I heard that you can really help me. Something's going on with me, but no. So I come to you and I say, look, I have to use this water, and you'll tell, well, see, it has chlorine. Personally, I don't bathe in it. Do this, and I say, thank you, but hey,
You don't
my
have
kids,
a choice.
I have to wash them.
Exactly.
So what do you want me to do? And you say,
I give you something that's gonna keep you from having the symptoms that the water can cause your body.
and even in that example,
Mm-hmm.
when you sit with someone, it's like, what's going on? Well, it's here. Does it itch? Yes. No. Okay, well, let's see. So you identify
I have to.
like a doctor.
Yeah, of
does.
course, yeah. I have
You-
to.
you physically
Well,
meet-
probably I take more time than a doctor would probably take.
Okay.
And I look at the person when I talk to them, as
That's-
opposed to being in an office where a doctor's looking at a screen a lot
Right.
of times. So yeah,
So
it's a
I don't
very
even
different.
compare you. I
It's
think
a
of
very
yourself-
different experience.
Are you? I imagine you're not. Are you covered by insurance? Certain kinds of plans?
No.
Not. Okay. So
Luckily for me, the government doesn't want to acknowledge homeopathy, which is a good thing and a bad thing. So the AMA is very much against homeopathy, and they've gone into a lot of stores like Whole Foods, for example, and they've wanted them to remove homeopathy from their stores. They went into all the drugstores and they took all the homeopathic eye drops out. They've taken remedies that they feel are, I don't know what they're
based
thinking
on what
is.
criteria?
I don't know.
Have you had any
It's like,
kind of input from the Kennedy group after they took over?
I don't know, but
Nothing unique
I
that
don't
you-
know. I don't know that, but I do
Has it
believe.
impacted you? Yeah.
I just believe that they're just doing everything they can to squash homeopathy. They don't want it around. They know the efficacy of the remedies, and the cost isn't anywhere near
Well, let's-
anything that's
for those of you
AMA.
out there, some of you know what efficacy means. They know what?
that the remedies work.
They know that the remedies work,
And that
but
scares
they
them.
are
Afraid.
thinking they want to logically, to them, restrict it.
Yeah.
Because they don't give you reasons why.
Well, because there's no money in it for them. Homeopathy isn't expensive.
Well,
it's
again,
not expensive.
that's when we get into who is influencing the choices that come before us, the people. Companies that say, look, if there's too much of this on the market, our cash flow stream won't happen. Well, we wanted to fund public access, but public access puts information out there that may not be the company line. And, that's like us. See, that's what we are. We're the neutral zone. We're anything but neutral.
Yeah.
But you'll hear things like we're hearing here. Now, if we were against some subjects, I've actually had shows that were pulled in the past. When it was about 9/11, I had a pilot on who was in Pakistan when I interviewed him. And he was showing that there was no way that these guys that had the planes even knew or could even fly these planes, because this is how they work, blah, 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 blah. And they have tried to, and they have. Anyway, that show was pulled. I had another guy get on here talking about something, and again, what he said against COVID, pulled. So public access means there's still someone listening, but you could still say your piece. But we haven't really been on the radar because we're pipsqueak.
Yeah.
But we're here in Maui, and we only want
Still have
good.
a voice.
And when we are doing good and we're out there, we are attracting an audience. All of you, all over the world, and we want you to join us, become part of us, remember all that stuff. You see all these web addresses, unless you're watching Akaku, where we don't have it on the screen, but dreammaui.com, MauiNeutralZone.com. If you go there, you'll be able to see, starting tomorrow, this show with a full transcript. Albert Einstein. I only said that so when you'll see the search engines, you'll see that this show shows up and says Albert Einstein because I said it. And that goes into this big search engine. So
Maui
did
Homeopathy.
Jason interview Joe Suki? Oh, yeah, look. What about affordable housing? Did someone talk about that? That's what this search engine does. So every show, we're accumulating data. We have so much data. No kidding. We have a half a terabyte, something. That sounds crazy. But 5,000 or 8,000 pages of transcripts and summaries
Oh my God.
on this website. Why? Because I want to provide a different kind of service. So think of it as the last 30 years. You want to see good people, and you look and you'll ask something. You'll see on my show, you'd say homeopathy, Shone Edel. Wait, Edel. You'll see all that stuff in the search engine because that's what we did it for, to make this data have value and be usable. In this time of AI, see, I'm not afraid of AI because Ariel is spelled A-I-R. And so I've been into AI for 30 years, and I know. See, I got to laugh. You never heard that one before.
No,
I'm sure.
I love it.
But it's true. So AI doesn't scare me. Not only that, it's how you use it. Mm-hmm. And it's always how you use it. The technologies that can destroy are the ones that can also save and heal. And so that's not all for this show, but I'm really excited because when I heard the word homeopathy, I remember all these years when I still don't really know what's up, but the bigger the number, the smaller the amount of it in the formula that you're getting. So if you get 5x and you see 35x, you're thinking, oh, 35x is stronger. Wait. And I've learned, tell me if I'm wrong, the ones that are higher are
More
can
diluted.
get
More diluted.
into spaces that other bigger concentrations can't easily get. Is that right?
Not exactly.
Oh, okay.
So, when you take a homeopathic remedy, the potency that your body's going to require is attacking different levels of healing in your body. But when you have that remedy inside you, it's like looking. It's just like cruising, searching your body, looking, what can I do here? So it's always looking. So it doesn't matter because it doesn't matter. Actually, the potencies become diluted as they get stronger, as they get higher. But it doesn't matter because whatever vibration your body is going to connect with is what's going to work for you.
I see.
Because we're all spiritual beings. We're 100% spiritual. There's nothing physical about us other than we're living in physical bodies and we have to deal with them. But
how did you come to that conclusion?
How did I come?
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, that was a big. That's
Yeah.
okay. But
Well, I don't know. I can
but
only
you have lived and you have had experiences
Yeah.
that bring you to the point where you understand in your beingness. I'm just asking only because we don't know who's listening. But that would be a good question I'd ask you. In your experience of life and your experiences, you have felt you're able to see and experience that your body is not who you are.
Yeah. Well, because most people don't realize how their body's functioning. And there's so many things that are going on in our brains that we have no clue about, let alone our bodies. Our brains are very busy, and there's a lot that we can do to help ourselves in many, many ways. But homeopathically, there's always a pathway to healing with homeopathy, because sometimes, like, I'll hold a box of remedies, and each box has like 100 vials in it, and I'll say everybody needs all of these remedies all the time, because we've been exposed to so many things in our lifetimes that we don't even know. And that's why sometimes a weird remedy can come up. It doesn't make sense, but it'll fix it. It's just magical.
And how do you have a way of testing it?
I do. I do.
All right. So you see that is something, if people would understand homeopathy and not think of it as something far away.
No.
It's something very available.
It is.
Do you teach people about that? Hey.
I like to teach people how to test themselves. Okay. So once they have the understanding of how their body works and how their body's going to react to a substance, whether it's food or homeopathy, their body's having a reaction. If they don't realize the kind of reaction their body's having, then they can't help themselves and be clued in. You know, if you know how to test yourself and you ask yourself, oh, should I eat this? And you get no, then you have to make the decision. Even though you may want it, are you still going to eat it, even though your body told you not a good idea? So
that self-testing, is it something we should do here, or not really need to do it here?
Well, I can teach you how to do it.
Right here? You mean these guys?
I could teach
Even
you.
if they can't see? Guys, are you blind? No, you're on radio. Okay.
Yeah, you can't see.
Okay.
We can't do it that way.
No, but you can do it.
I can teach anybody how to test with this method, and it's really, really amazing.
So, want to give me an example or no?
Sure.
Okay. We are going to get an example of this. By the way, we are at KAKU 88.5 FM, the voice of Maui. Simulcast on Akaku Maui Community Media. Maui Stream on your phone app, and Channel 55 on, I call it TV, they call it media.
Oh, media.
Media. But you can find, and the best way to watch our shows is MauiNeutralZone.com. It's all up on YouTube, and you can go there, but if you go to Maui Neutral Zone, you're going to be able to look it up, and this show will be right there at the top next, because it's the newest show. So, hit me with an example.
What kind of an example would you like?
You're just saying that you can teach me how to test.
I can.
So let's do it.
Stand up.
Okay. You guys, I'm going to try to stay in camera. Let's see how I do. Okay.
Stand up and stand up and take off your glasses.
Take off my glasses.
Okay.
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 What's next?
Just close your eyes.
Can you hear me? You can probably still hear me.
Okay. Yeah.
Can't see my head. Close my eyes.
Okay, close your eyes. And now just say to yourself, ask your body to show you a yes. That's all you want to know. I say, body, show me a yes.
Body, show me a yes. Okay.
Where's your body going?
It's vibrating
forward
that way and back.
Okay, good. So that's your yes then. Going forward is your yes. Now ask for a no. Oh, you went right back.
Yeah, that was interesting, wasn't it?
Yeah, so that's it. That's your yes. Now, everybody's different. Some people's yeses can be forward. Some people can be back. Everybody's different. And sometimes I don't even
hold the object.
Yeah. So now let's say I want to test this. Okay. So you can just hold this, and you can just say, "Is this something that is this good? Is this good for me? Right. Is this good for me?
Is this good for me?" See, it was very subtle.
It's always subtle, and that's the thing.
It was right forward.
Exactly. So the thing is that what people really don't understand when sometimes when they're first taught this, is they're looking. It's like, I'll give this example. It's like when people think God's going to speak to them, they think it's going to sound like, "Hi, I'm God, and I'm telling you this." It's never going to be like that. Okay.
Isn't that a great? That is a great thing to say, right?
Okay, and so
God doesn't have a megaphone.
Exactly, and so
they're going.
Yeah. He's just moving you. He's just moving you all the time. And so when you pick up a substance and you say, "Is this the right thing for me?" and you get an answer. But then let's say you're a food addict and you're trying to get rid of sugar in your life.
Ooh.
And you pick up something that's full of sugar knowing that it's full of sugar, and you just want to see what your body's going to react to. And I'll just say in parentheses, no one can test strong on sugar. Nobody. I don't care if it's organic. I don't care what it is. Nobody can test. I've muscle tested hundreds and hundreds of people. Nobody can test strong on sugar, and it's amazing. So if you go and test something that you know really, you're hoping it's going to be a good result, but you deep down in your heart, you know it's not good. And then you get that no. Okay. And then you have to make a decision. Do I respect my answer?
Yeah.
Or do I...
Like all the decisions
like everything in life. Exactly.
If we had made...
But this is really in your face, because I have a friend, and it's like, I said this to him. I said, if I'm going to teach you how to do this, then are you going to listen when you get a no, even when you want to eat it? That becomes a moral thing.
No, that is the big question.
Because then you're giving that to yourself, really. You're not.
Wow.
You're telling yourself, well, I want to honor my vital force because it's smarter than me, and then it's giving you an answer, and you're saying, well, I really don't like that, so I'm not going to do it. And that's why I remember years ago I read an article by Carolyn Mace. I don't know if you know who she was.
MYSS.
Yeah, and she was doing
Good books.
she was doing a talk in England, and she was talking to people about smoking, and this woman came up to her after, and she said to her, oh, she said, I've listened to everything you've said, and I really think that now I understand, and I think I'll be able to quit smoking right now. And like Carolyn looked at her and said to her, you've been telling your vital force all these years, like, that you don't want to listen to them. You can't expect that it's just going to turn around and trust you now, because you haven't listened to it all this time. So it's the same thing with us, with everybody. If you're not going to listen to your answers and respect them, then they may not keep coming.
Wow. So
now, when you know how to test yourself like that,
like
that
I just
way
learned.
I just did, you can test anything. You can go into a store, you can pick up maybe I want to try this new blah, blah, blah. Pick it up, or a piece of fruit. Is this good for me? You get the answer, you put it down.
I don't have to get rid of my metal, my glasses, my this. No? Okay.
No.
Because, I know the muscle testing oftentimes.
Well,
people talk about having no metallic and different.
Well, of course, there's a lot of different facets
but
to.
Yours I just did it.
Yeah.
And I could feel a subtle.
Very subtle.
You saw it.
I know.
You're watching. Because
I show people how to do it.
But I felt it.
Yeah.
I felt it.
And you're always going to feel it, and it becomes so subtle that it's almost like it becomes almost like your body's moving so subtly.
Do I want to go talk to this person? Yes, no.
Yeah, exactly. Do I
Oh.
want to be friends with this person? Is this a good person for me to have in my life? Things like that. And this is one of the things that I wish I could do, and that is teach kids how to do this, because kids have problems with food. They don't know what's good for them, and they don't know what friends are even good for them. Like, you have a friend you've got a kid that's being bullied all the time. Why would they want to be friends with that kid? But they keep going back. So there's things it just gives a person confidence to trust themselves and know that the answers that they're getting are real.
Well,
and that's why when you
great
muscle
thing.
test this way, or people muscle test this way, or they muscle test this way, you can still even a pendulum you can influence. But you can't, when you ask a question to your body, you'll see, the more you do it, you'll realize you can't make your body go back when it wants to go forward. You just can't.
Wow, see, that's amazing, because what you said about pendulums, for some reason I'm able to control a pendulum.
You can control it. You don't want to control. You don't want to control it.
I don't want to.
You don't want to control it, and that's the problem. You can, if you want the answer, you can project, and then you can get the answer you want because you're putting that energy out.
Yeah.
So you don't want to be doing that.
Isn't that an extraordinary thing to just hear?
Well, it's pretty
Okay.
cool.
Yeah,
It is very cool, and it's very, very useful, and it just. It
How
works.
did you learn that? That's a beautiful thing.
You know, when I first started doing homeopathy, I was taught different ways of testing, and I studied applied kinesiology for years. And we used to do all these crazy things, mudras and putting your hands in different places and all of that. And then when I first came here and I first started testing people, and I remember I would do certain ways of testing, and then I don't know, it's just like one day I guess God watched me and thought, you're really struggling with that when I can just go make it easier on you. I think I don't even know. That's all. It's just like the feeling that I had, like all of a sudden things just changed. I started doing things in a different way, and it was like, where did that come from? And then I just realized that it was just like a quick download that just hit me. So
On that, we can go back to we're not really these people, we're the spiritual beings controlling these flesh bodies. That's a great conversation.
Yeah.
So in working with people over these years, so you just basically shared, you've been studying homeopathy and from way back when you were a small child, because 29 years is a lot of years, so you were a small child.
A baby. Well, when I was a kid, I never really had. I was the oldest of 3 kids, but I don't really remember having toys. I had one doll, but I really remember having a book that I used to walk around with all the time. And I couldn't read. I was like really small, and this was like a big hardcover book, The Lost Continent of Mu.
Really?
Was that book. Yeah.
James Leeward or something.
I don't remember, but I know like there's drawings in there, and there are all these different things that I was really drawn to as a kid. I used to carry that book around with me.
Wow.
And when I decided that when it turned out that I was going to move to Maui, my parents weren't happy about it. Oh. And when I came here, one of the first things that happened was I went to a meditation up in Kula, and it was about Lumeria. And I remember the next day I called my mother and I said to her, I know you're mad at me because I'm here, but you were here before me, and that's why I'm here now. So that's why I had that book all those years. And I had given the book back to her when I moved here, and she sent the book back to me.
Wow.
Yeah. She lived to 100.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great. So she's not with us anymore.
Oh, no. But she lived to 100.
So you were from New York also?
Montreal, Canada.
Montreal. Oh, yeah, you mentioned.
Yeah.
Montreal. I was in Montreal, I think the only time I remember was 1967.
For the fair.
I remember going up on this unusual thing where we were inside sort of a rectangular stadium.
You came for the fair, for the Montreal, for the expo. Yeah.
That was a memorable thing.
Yeah, that was incredible. That was like an incredible thing for our city altogether. I mean, they had to build highways and do all kinds of things, and they built everything out on this island that was called St. Helens Island, and a lot of the things are still actually there. Some of the pavilions are still there. They've been used for other things.
Isn't that nice? That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, yeah.
I was at the New York World's Fair in 1964.
Uh-huh.
And the thing that's kind of stayed, of course, is the New York Monument with those 2 tall towers and the Globe. But I remember as a kid, I was just a little guy, 13 years old.
Well, I think the American Pavilion may have been a globe also at the World's Fair in Montreal.
Yeah.
If I recall. There was one, I think it was the American Pavilion.
Do you see, is Canada different laws-wise for homeopathy?
It's a little friendlier. But for example, I mean, because there's not much regulation, there's no regulations, they don't really want to know about you. They kind of leave you alone. So, but I mean, places like California, for example, things are pretty strict over there.
Are there colleges that teach it? How do you become a...
Of course. There's schools all over the country, in Canada, all over the world. There's schools.
Homeopathy. It's been doing... Obviously, it's been
homeopathy's been around for over 250 years. And actually, in Montreal, one of the last hospitals, it was still there, it was the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, was until the 50s. was a homeopathic hospital.
Where is that?
Montreal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And there's there's all these hospitals. But
So they would do the same as you.
yeah.
They look at
Yeah.
you and they...
Well, they probably were more classical than I. I was trained classically, but many years ago, I had a lady from California who came to see me in Hana. And at the time, she told me she had a daughter that was a drug addict. And she was trying to get her into rehab. And then she got her into rehab, and then she met a guy in rehab, and they got on a motorcycle, and they had a very bad accident. And then she called me, and she told me her daughter was in the hospital, and what could I do to help her? And I remember thinking to myself, there's no way one remedy is going to fix this, And I just sent her a lot of different things because she had a lot of issues, the daughter. And the mother calls me up one day and says to me, she says, they don't know what I'm doing. They didn't know what she was doing, and I made it in such a way that she could quietly do it without getting caught, so to speak. And she says, they came in and they say to me, well, we really don't understand how your daughter is just healing so wonderfully. Like, it must be because she's so young. And the mother never said anything, but she knew that was the difference.
Wow.
In an acute situation, homeopathy is really like, if you can get something into you like right away, you can like pretty much knock it out.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful stuff.
So
I'll give you something.
I'm curious. I keep going like this. This is very strange.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm not one to, normally get sick.
Yeah, but there's a lot of, it's because there's
You see.
bacteria, and your skin is your biggest organ in your body, and it's a filter. And sometimes it just can't filter out everything because there's a lot coming at it.
So if anyone, do you have easy way to get to you? You have a website?
I do, Maui Homeopathy.
Now I'm going to spell it, even though seeing it on TV on the net, you can see it, but MAUI
HOMEOPATHY. Homeopathy.
Pathy.
Right. Homeopathy.
Homeopathy. See, this will teach you how to pronounce Hawaiian too.
Yeah.
That was a side benefit. But we just thought we'd include that.
Yeah.
So you have patients. How do you find your patients? Or they find you?
They find me. I have patients all over the planet, pretty much.
Do you mind I put your
no,
website?
not at all. I'd love it.
Email address okay up there?
Sure.
Phone number you want? Or
no problem. Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to put that on. If you're watching and you're on the radio, and if you're watching Akaku, go to MauiNeutralZone.com tomorrow. And tomorrow is just one day away.
Not even.
And I'll have all that stuff up there. Because that's how people like to watch our shows.
Yeah.
I'm really glad you're here. If you were here live, I'd say, hey, call 808-873-3435. But that's our call-in line. But since the last storm, we have been, knocked out. As so many people have been, on their back, they're on their heels. Yeah. So right now, what kind of things do you see? I mean, is there tendencies or in periods you see different kinds of things?
Well, I'll tell you. There's always going to be a lot of viruses that are going to be out there. I was just told by one of my patients that there seems to be a new virus in California that's moving around quite a bit. And he told me the name of it. I don't know, something with it sounds like something maybe like like pneumonia or something like that. I don't remember. I have to look it up.
Okay.
But there's all these things, and because of what we're going through right now with the water contamination, there's a lot of skin issues. And then there are still people, unfortunately, who can't afford to buy water and are forced to drink the water, and then they'll get infected somewhere inside. Whatever their weakness is in their body, the infection will probably go there, unless it's specific, and then they'll end up in the hospital, at the ER, maybe on antibiotics. Homeopathy will reach those things as well.
So one could go homeopathic route,
correct,
rather than antibiotics.
Antibiotics aren't guaranteed,
When
And-
homeopathy, is it the same kind of a time thing? I always wonder about that, you know?
It depends. Everybody's different. It depends. Like, if you called me and you said to me, Sean, I think I'm getting a cold, and I gave you something right away, I could probably knock it out like overnight, And something like this, how many days have you had it?
Couple of weeks.
Couple of weeks. Okay. So.
And it's going through stages. It's
Yeah.
now scabby. I'm thinking, well, it must be getting better, actually. But I don't know, and I don't know what to put
Well,
on
your
it,
your body is trying to heal it, but a lot of times there's so many foreign things coming into our bodies that we just, we can't always rely on ourselves to heal it.
Yeah.
Look, when I think about homeopathy, hundreds of years ago, there were no chemicals, there were no pesticides, there were no food additives, there were no food colorings. The air pollution wasn't the same as it is today. So, maybe in those days you could give somebody one remedy and hit it, better than bloodletting or leeches. But today there's too many factors. If you go on my website, the first thing it says right at the top is air pollution is the number one killer of people, which is the truth. And
Wow.
my website's old. It's old. That's what I've said from the beginning. And that's how Vogoff came to be.
Oh, by the way, let's mention that. Do you have it with you?
Of course.
Yeah. How many of you have gone into the store and said, do you have something that can help me with this fog? What do I do?
But here's the sad part. I've said this for years.
Okay.
The sad part is that a lot of times people don't realize, and I felt this on government. Okay, this has been my peeve for a long, long time, and that is that nobody wants to talk about the VOG because of tourism.
Yes.
And they don't want to say anything because they know that people will come here and very often be affected by it negatively. And then it could be, have a negative impact on tourism, which of course they don't want. So it's really not mentioned. It's rarely even mentioned on the weather forecasts. And people, luckily for me, in all these years, a lot of the people the stores, they've become educated, and they realize when people come in now and they're tourists and they're complaining that they have cold-like symptoms, but whatever they say, these stores all know already that it's 99% of the time it is the VOG.
Wow.
Yeah, because it manifests.
So what does this do?
It works on all the things that can happen to you from VOG, which are your eyes can be blurry, they can burn, you can get a headache, your nose can be itchy, you have trouble breathing, your sinuses feel that's me. Your sinuses feel congested.
Someone wants to give me a loan. They keep calling. 61,000 is out there for me.
Okay.
Thank you.
So
sinuses, so
everything in your head, your ears can be blocked up, your throat, your lungs. And then I remember many years ago when we were doing a demo up at the Ulapalakua store, and somebody walked in and Froyam gave them a spray, and he said, just walk around the store and see how you feel. Come back and tell me. And the guy came back and he said to him, all the symptoms that I told you that I had went away. He said, I didn't mention that I had a stomach ache, and that went away also.
Really?
Yeah.
From this?
Yeah. Because you
Wow.
don't, and there is something actually in there that's going to work on that. Because, if you're jogging, for example, and you're running and you're really deep breathing, and you're breathing all that VOG right into your belly, and it's going everywhere in your body. So
little did I know that I'd be talking about Vogoff here, but that's great.
it's a wonderful, wonderful product. And I've had the most incredible stories and things that people have shared with me about they couldn't leave the island, they couldn't stay here if they didn't have it, and whatever. It's just, it's been really heartfelt for me.
And you were the creator of the formula?
Of course.
Wow.
All my products I created.
You have lots of products?
Oh, yeah. I have a whole line of products.
See, when you go up to Maui Homeopathy. Remember,
Yeah.
Homeopathy.
Right.
Wow, that's great.
I make a lot of products, and they're all really, really good. And
Well,
they all work, and they're all good.
So I didn't realize just how powerful this interview is going to be, but that is really super good because here on Maui, I mean, like here I am. I'm going to give you an example. They seem to think that this heart condition and high blood pressure, they give me a pill, then they say, well, they give me another one, then they give me another one. I take eight prescription medications a day now, and many of them are, high blood pressure, 1, 2, 3 of them. And now, for someone like me to say, okay, I know they say don't take cold turkey or you'll die, or you will be going through symptoms, you will wish you never stopped, but whatever, all those are threats. How do I get off of them and even look at something like homeopathy?
Okay, so
Isn't that a good question?
It's a great question. It's a great question.
Okay.
So let's go back. Let's go back a little bit and talk about doctors. Doctors are taught by pharmaceutical companies. They don't really know the things that they did. Like when I was a kid, the doctor came to your house. You had a cold, your doctor came to your house and he treated you. If something was going on with you, he thought about it and tried to figure out an answer. Doctors don't think the same. They don't think anymore, I don't think. They just rely on big pharma for their drugs, and that's why somebody like you're taking 3 medications for high blood pressure when probably you don't need 3, but when the first one stopped working, they're afraid to take you off that one, so they put you on a second one, and when that doesn't work, now you're on 2, and now they're going to add a third one and put you on. And this is what's happened to all these people with diabetes, that they've been on 2 and 3 drugs, because most of the drugs that are the AMA drugs are not made to be long-term. They just aren't. They're all made for short term. Like, for example, if you look at something like oxycodone, that's a drug that's going to help you if you're in pain, but it's not to be made long term. Otherwise, you become an addict. So there's all these drugs like that. So a person like you, a doctor is never going to want to take you off a drug because he's afraid. Because why? Because he doesn't know what's going to happen to you.
I got dizzy and they took me off one.
But here's the thing, Jason. Now that you know how to muscle test, you can pick up all your pills one at a time, and you ask your body, should I be taking this? And you're going to get an answer, and you're going to see. And then I'm going to tell you that probably 7 out of 8, or maybe 8 out of 8, you're going to go back. You're going to go back.
So what do you do then? Cold turkey?
Well, you don't. Well, if I was working with you and I was putting you on homeopathy instead, then I would check to see.
Oh, I see. Instead, because you'd still identify symptoms.
Yeah, of course.
And still.
Well, I make a really incredible.
prescribe.
I make a heart tonic and a high blood pressure formula.
See, because you've done this, you've come to understand what combinations work. What an amazing show! We have got Shone Edel telling us about something, an alternative and a way to go there with it. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I don't even know what to say.
I thank you.
Well, I'm going to...
I just wish more people, especially children, people should just really embrace homeopathy. It's still one of the best medicines on the planet. It's better than... It just is. It just is.
I'm just thinking.
So I can't wait for you to go home now and test all your meds. And I know you're going to do it.
But if I'm like, should I take this today? I can do it that specific.
And there's something else I'm going to teach you, and that'll be for another show.
You hear that? We're going to get Shone back for another show. That's a good deal. Yay!
It'll be life-changing for people, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I can schedule you for, how about an hour from now? No. We want this. I already have things scheduled, but how about in a month or so? You mind coming back?
Anytime. I'd love to. Thank you.
You guys, but don't wait for me. If you guys want to see her, and I would hope that you'd listen to this and say, oh, my goodness. And Wow. Uh, Already what you've told me is life-changing.
Good.
I can't imagine to have to wait for something that's going to be even more life-changing. So it's not unreasonable for me to think that I can go off my medications.
No, it's not.
If I find suitable alternatives.
And it's done the right way. There may be some medications where you just can't stop right away, even though your body's telling you, I don't like this. It might, then then what I would do is I would take each medication and I would see, I know you don't like it.
So
but
that's a reason that someone said, well, I could do this by my own. Why do I need to have you need someone that knows what they're looking at and how to address this and guide you through the process.
Yeah.
It's like,
you have to be
I know acupuncture. I think I'll needle myself.
No.
You're going to needle me if you start needling yourself.
Exactly. Well, you never, the thing I always say to people,
Thank
a lot
you.
of
That's
times,
great.
and people tell me, a patient will say to me, oh, so-and-so said I should do this or I should do that. And I always have the same answer. Some people have no problem dabbling in your health, and that's all they're doing. They're just making suggestions, and maybe it worked for them, something, but we don't always know. And the thing about homeopathy, I just want to say one more thing about homeopathy. A lot of people think it doesn't work. And the reason they think it doesn't work is because they didn't use it properly. They didn't know what could antidote it. They didn't know how to take it. They didn't know when to take it. And nobody told them. And they'll go into a health food store and they'll buy those little vials of pellets and they don't know what to do with them. They'll put them in their hand. It doesn't tell you don't touch them with your hands. It doesn't tell you anything. So, it's not represented as well as it could be. And also people are buying a remedy. Let's say, I'll use arnica because arnica is such a well-known remedy by everybody. Okay, so everybody knows that arnica works on a bruise or if you fall or something like that, but they don't realize that it works on deep trauma or things like that. And what does deep trauma affect? Everything in your body. So people will read on the vial that it'll say upset stomach, but they don't know that remedy can be addressing 100 other things besides the upset stomach. And maybe that's not the best remedy for them for their upset stomach, because there could be other things in that remedy that they don't need.
So did you learn, I want to say trial and error. Is that how one learns? How do you learn in this thing? Did you have a coach? Were you
Well,
mentor?
I studied it. But aside from that, when I first started using, I always muscle tested. Always, different ways. Like I told you, I studied that for 4 years. Applied kinesiology, and we did all kinds of crazy things.
My brother also applied kinesiology, so I remember.
And so really the way I do it right now is so easy. And after I'm with a patient for 5 minutes of testing them, they can feel the difference right away. They'll say to me, oh, this one's weak. They can feel it because they start the same way you could feel it. And you just start to feel it, and then you start realizing your body's really talking to you. And I am not having a verbal conversation with your body. I'm only holding your hand, and I'm thinking something, which you have no idea what it is, and your body answers me. That's the coolest part.
Wow.
Yeah, that is the coolest part.
I'm looking up here, and if I can see correct, I can. It says 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Can you believe we've been speaking an hour?
No.
See, now you're going to say, well, bring her back. I have a few people scheduled. I don't know who's on next week, but Leohu Ryder's coming on with
that's
Nadine.
good.
She called me and said, I want to be.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
People that watch our show know our show is about bringing beautiful things and beautiful people to light. Today, we got a bonus plan. I knew Shone when I ran into her. I said, oh, you'd be a great guest for the show. And I know she does homeopathy. But we are blessed on Maui to have people like Shone and to have people that do all kinds of things. And together, we are amazing. Even alone, this is an amazing woman. But when you put all the pieces together, that's why when people say to me, oh, Scott, my guy, he said, they're grandiose ideas. my ideas are start with little things. It's called start by truth. Start by caring. Start by sharing.
That's right.
Start by things that become a way of life and habit that make things better.
Right.
And that, if you watch our show, you know that's what we're about. And I started this because, why? Because I wanted to do politics interviews like I've been doing for 15 elections, but then I'd have to give equal time on radio. I said, wait, let's do values, and kept adding good people, and that's where we are now. We only have a minute left. Sean, you've been a terrific guest.
Thank you, Jason.
And,
it's been a lot of
literally,
fun.
I'm glad, and I hope you will come back.
I would love to. I would love to.
And as you might know, it's, an ebb and flow on guests, but we're going to make sure to get Sean back here. Well, about a month or so, we'll see. But I was just thinking about a regular series. That's a good way to do it. We'll start by having you back again.
Okay.
So we have 45 seconds. Thank you all for joining us. MauiNeutralZone.com, the best way to watch this stuff. And come back next week. You can see us live, even call in. Maybe. Have a beautiful week. And happy birthday to me and Ariel and my brother. And here we go. Goodbye, everyone.
Aloha.